I have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Pravin Gandhi. He is the managing partner with an early stage fund called Seed Fund. He is also on the boards of various companies, both private and public. He's a trustee of TiE Mumbai and been the past president of the chapter as well. Pravin, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you.
Apart from being a managing partner in a fund, Pravin, you play an extensive role as a mentor to emerging entrepreneurs. What are the current challenges that you see are being faced by the younger breed of entrepreneurs that were different, let's say, 10 years ago?
Well, I guess in the sense that markets have become more competitive, and hence your ability to stand out is that much more challenging. The other challenge, I think, is perhaps to find enough entrepreneurial talent around you for you to build a team. I think it's important that because most of the businesses or entrepreneurial venture in India are not technology plays, but they are more execution, different business models. And hence to have some skill sets which are around sales, around finance, as part of the team, rather than because you can't go hire them, is very important. So I think that because the economy is doing well, access to these people who are potential team members for you when you start is difficult. I think in the year 2000, when there was the bubble, everybody wanted to be an entrepreneur. So you could find people and build a team. So that, I think, is perhaps the biggest challenge. Second, of course, at that time, there was a lot of dumb money available. Now there is smarter money, but obviously for a country of size of India, there isn't sufficient. Okay, there isn't. I think there has been a lot of progress in terms of the kind of money that is available, and I think it's a lot smarter money. Debt is available, but for a country of billion people, there just can't be enough. So
But your fund is focused on early stage startups. So there are other funds that have come, especially from Silicon Valley, that are investing with early stage. And I've raised this with other investors as well. The common complaint I see with a certain group here is that the funds do not necessarily invest with early stage.
And they shouldn't. In the sense that they are a large funds. So if you are anything above $100 million, you can't be going around and putting $500,000 or less money in early stage companies. So that's one big issue. So you are better off doing it afterwards when the business model is proven and you can bring to bear your own expertise. Because the early stage, in the sense you have to do the same amount of work. So why not put more money at work if you have a large fund? So that, I think, is the big critical issue. The second is, of course, when you have a overseas fund, it's important the kind of people they hire in India. Because you can't, I would think nowhere, but especially here, you can't invest by just writing a check. I think there is hand-holding, mentoring, working the system is very important. And so you have to also be there in terms of understanding the environment yourself before you can help somebody. So those are, I think, in a sense, I think they are better off putting the 2 million, 3 million in the Series A, B round post. So we are, in a sense, a feeder fund. The angel network, us, are the feeder mechanisms for which these guys can then take it to, with $5-10 million and take it to market.
When it comes to mentoring, I think it's more apt in a country like India because we have grown learning and understanding and nurturing the relationship of a guru and Syed, I think. But when it comes to investing, it's a little different dimensional. the model has been so well adapted in Silicon Valley. How is that different, if at all, in India?
Well, it is different only because the entrepreneurs yet have not understood this capital, this class of capital. So they don't. Very few people understand that when a venture capitalist comes and is betting on you at an early stage, the risk is high, and hence for the amount of money they give you, they should have larger stake, etc., etc. More often they think that there should not be so much of returns that the VC should expect. Now that's a perception issue, and I think it'll all change once everybody makes money. You make my trip. If the Kalra made money, potentially the fund may have made more money, but so be it. I mean, without that fund, they wouldn't have made anything. So this is an education process which will solve itself in time.
Successes like you just mentioned, MakeMyTrip.com obviously excite aspiring entrepreneurs. So the attraction of money is good, but the difficult part is that it eventually leads to avarice, and that is not good for an entrepreneur. So what is your perspective on how we could groom entrepreneurs? It's difficult, like you said, to make them not attracted to money, but yet have value for it.
I think I would think that generally the Indian middle class is not all that money mad. So I think that the value systems that we bring to bear does play that restraining role in people's aspiration. Whether it brings avarice or not, which it did in year 2000, because there were many gold diggers, there is nothing you can stop from doing that, because people get excited. Yeah, why not me? But the nature generally will take care of, because one, the amount of money available in any way is limited. Okay, which means the best of class will get funded and not the rest. And they will figure out that, maybe they are better off staying in their corporate jobs or whatever it is that they're doing. So I wouldn't worry about it. Avarice is good. I think people should learn from success and failure.
I want to extract a couple of wisdom nuggets, if I may use that word. Even at this conference, there are a lot of young students from IITs and IIMs who look up to people like yourselves and say, "No, how do I become an entrepreneur? How do I seek that path? Who do I go to?" What would you advise them?
Well, if I look at my own history, I think if I want to be an entrepreneur, I have to do it the smart way, in the sense that mere idea is an insufficient condition for success. Your ability to execute is very important. So which is when I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I came back from US, I said that I must work and see what it is to be an employee, learn the ropes of how the stuff works rather than try to discover it at somebody else's cost, and hence become that much more mature in my ability to execute what I had to do. So my advice would be that take a couple of years off and work for somebody. Perhaps in the area that you want to eventually be an entrepreneur in, so you get some domain knowledge, but more importantly, you understand the dynamics of commerce. Indian students per se are not well versed with commerce, and hence it is very important for them to understand what is cash flow, what is P&L, that it's just not that because I have a good product, I will be successful. because 95% of the stuff lies in execution. So I think clearly they must go and learn. It'll take a couple of years, and that would be my advice. And then when you start, be very clear that you can't do it on your own, especially in India, where there are multiple geographies, there are different challenges here. So see if you can build a team, either geographical team or multiple skill team. So there are complementary skills that can help you. Ownership percentage should be the last consideration when you do this.
Pravin bhai, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.